VCT Americas has just completed its kickoff tournament, and we now have the two teams representing the region at the first major of 2025, Masters Bangkok. If you missed any of the matches from finals weekend, this video is for you, so let's get straight into that first game. Sentinels vs G2 was a match that going into it felt more like a test, because everybody already knew G2 was probably the best team in the region, so a lot of the questions are around how close can Sentinels bring this game, rather than who will win this match. In the first map, Abyss gave us a look at just how dominant G2 is regionally. G2 would completely obliterate Sentinels on this first half, starting with a 6-0 lead and ending the half at 10-2. Sentinels would open the second half with a few rounds, but this ace from Leaf would break their economy, leading to a G2 win at 13-7.
Because I'm being so for real too. If
hoping to take a bit more away from
wow.
it with these pistols. Okay. Another? Economy man!
dude, their money's cooked. Oh my gosh!
Every map so far in Kickoff. That was crazy.
That streak of rounds from Sentinels at the end of Abyss would give them a bit of momentum going into the second map Pearl, where they would take a 5-3 lead. But sloppiness from Sentinels and overall good play from G2 would allow G2 to pull the half back in their favor at 7-5.
He's committed to that as well. Talk to the corner like,
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
No, bro!
so
That
everyone
is
just
so
lined up.
unlucky.
That is
He
so
didn't have to
unlucky.
move his cross. And they would go on to wipe the second half, taking the map 13-7 and the series at 2-0, making them the first Americas team to qualify for Masters Bangkok, as well as the first Americas Kickoff Grand Finalist.
This team is just simply excellence. 6 maps won in a row.
And after the match, Leaf had this to say.
I mean, they know they're bad. I mean, they just lost 2-0 in like disappointing fashion. You know, like I said in features, you know, they only rely on hero plays, so it's just to be expected. You know, we're just the better team round after round.
The second series of the day was an elimination game. Whoever wins would play against Sentinels in a best of 5 for the second spot at Masters Bangkok, and the loser would go home and have no matches until late March. Crew vs MIBR would open on Abyss, and MIBR would start this map with a pretty good 5-1 lead. Crew would pull themselves back into this map though, ending the half tied at 6-6, and that momentum would allow Crew to cruise to the second half, with them taking the map at 13-8.
Committed, but a 2v2 and not anticipating this, and Versa from the behind, Shanum has to do it all. 39 HP, and a bloody dream at this point, Shanum cannot do it all.
The second map Abyss would open with MIBR having a strong defense half, taking an 8-4 lead, and they would hold on to that lead for the rest of the map, taking it at 13-8 off the back of an insane performance from Aspas. The third and final map split would show us another 8-4 half from MIBR, but this time, Crew would fight back. Slowly but surely, Crew would bring the game closer and closer, all the way to 11-12, looking ready to go to overtime. But MIBR would shut them out in the last moment, taking the map at 13-11, eliminating Crew, and putting the formerly worst team in the league a single win away from a Masters. Aspas would be a major factor for this series win, with him putting up the best individual performance I think we've ever seen in VCT. 82 and 36 was his KD, in 3 maps.
Up in these fights, raw gunplay needs to do the job. A pull out, first wave of things, rare whiffage, Aspas up and around, drafted away, and sky high, just slicing and dicing. What an insane ace from Aspas.
The second match day of the weekend would only have a single series, but this one was different. A best of 5 game in the lower finals to decide who will be the second Americas team at Masters Bangkok. Would it be Sentinels, the most popular team in the world, 2-time Masters champions, and the team that won Kickoff last year? Or would it be MIBR, the org that has never even gotten close to a major, but were revitalized with the addition of the GOAT and some young blood? This series would open on Lotus, and we would once again see a new comp from MIBR on this map, this time with Double Duelist and Solo Breach Initiator. On this first map, we would immediately see improvements from Sentinels in terms of individual play compared to the G2 series.
Put MIBR on this weak buy on this C hit.
Great razor blade.
Ooh, Zel says.
Hooks them out.
You don't know him, bro. Oh my gosh!
They caught out 2 players.
He gets ace here.
And one of the
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh! Nobody is hope. There's no way they win this actually. Bang doesn't have him in his bag. Like, oh my gosh!
Who are you talking about?
Could Peggy trying to draw a bead on him.
Bang doesn't have it in his bag like that, to do this, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Sentinels would pull ahead in this first half, taking a 9-3 lead, and although MIBR opened the second half pretty strong, Sentinels would close the map at 13-7, with an insane 4K clutch from Riot.
Please.
They
dodge.
definitely hard clear this now. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, he still got two.
He
Dude,
actually
are we
went
gonna
for
see
the
Vintage narrate, bro? Is he about to walk to A? Is he about to do
Oh,
that
it's
same thing that he did
Vintage.
against Sentinels? He's
What
gonna hear
did
them
he
both in a second.
About cutting your teeth.
Oh, he wins this.
No!
Oh no, he's selling your bread.
Pull off that angle.
7 balls.
Oh my gosh!
Three for Narrate on the round. Now has to save this for MIBR, but Narrate is quiet.
Oh my gosh, bro! Going into the second map Abyss, Sentinels fans did not have a lot of confidence, considering that they had been manhandled by G2 on this map the day prior. Not only that, but MIBR were undefeated in Kickoff on this map, currently being 3-0. Sentinels would come into this map with the exact same comp, but their game plan was clearly different, and that would reflect in the scoreline, with Sentinels taking a 9-3 lead and closing the map dominantly at 13-5, putting them at series point. The fourth map Pearl would open yet again with a 9-3 lead in favor of Sentinels. And with the way the last two maps had went, Sentinels fans and players were feeling pretty good going into the second half. None of them would expect what was to come though. Round after round, MIBR would pull together a comeback, even taking the lead at one point, being up 12-10. Sentinels would push the map to overtime, but this was not your average game.
It's up to Zelsis, and he's going hunting. He's going to take this into his own hands. Aspas misses the shot. Steel gun active. Shot, he goes to work. Shuts him down. You better get up early if you're going to come with the king like that. Zekin is waiting though. He hears this. The siege comes in. Zekin takes his powder flash and backs out. Stops the plant at least. Flash out of the smoke. Here comes Zekin, and he's angry. And Zekin has to do it all now. Shenup replaces the star. That's a shot on the diffuser. Shenup low. Zekin so close. Tries to ride the lightning.
Oh my god. Faster reactions than all of them. I'm gonna blow my voice out, man. This is getting pretty crazy on map 3.
Sentinels trying to book their ticket to Masters Bangkok. And MIBR digging their heels in with their last ditch. Here's Artazine holding his ground, and they've done it. Bring on the 35th. And Koteji's got no reason to peek. What? Zekin's not ready, he swings on him. John has to go big, but bang, in dismay. Sees the house of cards come crumbling down. MIBR are on the precipice here of staying alive in this series. Cortesia strikes back with a vengeance. Narrate somehow that second bullet through the masonry. Don't ask me how it hit.
Oh my god, Aspas is trying to rotate. Does he have God knows where right
Cortesia's
now?
alone. Aspas, what are you doing? You're too late. It's all gone wrong for MIBR. Head in hands.
Oh my god.
Somebody, please think of Cubit, please. Elsa's tucked as per usual. This has got to be a spot you check. Aspas gets across the side and John just gets ripped a new one. They're so close. Narrate though has something to say. Zekin's found one and we're down to a 3-piece each. But there's Artazine. Crucially, Zekin gets another. Spike. No plan of that yet, and Shenum, he is on in. It's on.
It's finally done. MIBR, the longest game in America's history. They've taken it.
This map on its own was nearly 2 hours long, but the series wasn't even over yet, with the score currently being 2-1 in favor of Sentinels. The fourth map split would open strong for Sentinels with a 6-1 lead, and yet again a 9-3 half. This time, the comeback would not be in the cards for the Brazilians, with Sentinels taking the map at 13-7, giving them the series at 3-1, and securing Sen City the final America spot for Masters Bangkok, as well as a rematch in the Grand Finals against G2.
Signed, sealed, delivered. It wouldn't be a Masters event without Sen City in attendance.
Sentinels versus G2. Both teams will have already qualified for Masters Bangkok, but there was a lot on the line this game. Firstly, and most importantly, an extra champions point. Both teams had already secured 2 by making it to the finals, but whoever won would grab that 3rd point, giving them a good lead for champions qualification. But it wasn't all about getting a head start towards champions Paris. G2 had gotten to 2 domestic grand finals last year, but lost both of them. And despite coming close in Shanghai and looking great going into champs playoffs, G2 would end the season trophyless. But this time it felt different, because with the way they were playing, it was like the trophy already belonged to them. Sentinels on the other side were looking to rebuild their hold over the VCT. They were already the most popular team in the league, but since 2021, they hadn't really been dominant regionally. They did take the kickoff tournament last year, but had a rough time the rest of the season, having to scrape their way into champions by points. Taking this win though would be a statement. Everyone, including myself, were hyping up G2 as easily the best team in the region, if not the world, and Sentinels taking this win would be a big middle finger to not only G2, but everyone who doubted them. And they would open this best of 5 grand finals with a bang, completely dominating G2 on split.
Spoke too soon, but Zekin may be able to salvage this operation, and with it, An early finish to that map. Fake TP trips him out. And that's a 13-4 start in this best of 5 grand finals.
13-4 over the best team in the league on the map they picked themselves. Not a bad start. The second map, Pearl, was one that we saw from the last time these teams played, and the results were pretty similar. G2 would start pretty hot, picking up the pistol and eventually the bonus, but a thrifty for Sentinels would put them back into this game. And that round would build a pretty good recovery for Sentinels, ending the half tied at 6-6. The second half would be dominant from G2 though, with them taking the map at 13-8, tying the series at 1-1. The third map, Abyss, was another one that we had already seen the last time these teams faced each other. We did see a very different look from Sentinels on this map the day prior against MIBR though, so fans were unsure of what to expect heading into this map. Sentinels would start this map hot. Despite losing the pistol and anti-eco, they would take a 7-3 lead on their attack half, closing the half at 7-5. And although it was only 2 more rounds than what they had gotten on their attack half the last time these teams played, it was a much different feel. And in the second half, although there was a bit of a struggle, Sentinels would take the map at 13-9, getting them to series point at 2-1.
But behind them, they dealt with it, at least partially. The salvos now drop down onto the cliffside. Slide down, no way! Drop down! And Trent has no choice but to just fire a last-ditch effort, anything to survive this. John's found the kill. Second under the fuse, the slightest to Tavis, and Jonah B is nowhere near. It's inevitable, and with him falling, Sentinels take the lead.
The fourth map, Fracture, would be our first look at Sentinels on this map, and they would pull out a pretty similar comp to G2's. The only difference was the duelist, with Sentinels pulling out the Yoru in place of the Raze. G2 would take a very strong lead in this first half, opening at 8-2, and although Sentinels would grab the last 2 rounds to close the half at 8-4, it wouldn't matter much, with G2 closing the map at 13-5, sending the series to the 5th and final map, Haven.
It's rapid, these players are dwindling, they are toppling G2! It's almost there, it's within their grasp, and they will have it! Not to be denied, Haven is inevitable!
This last map was insane going in, with this being completely uncharted territory for both teams. Neither had played this map so far in Kickoff, so the teams would be going in blind and hope that their game plan would push them over the line. And we will see drastically different comps from these teams. Sentinels would bring out the comp that gained popularity late last year due to Fnatic's success with Yoru and ISO, while G2 would pull out a comp that seemed much more in tune with the direction the current meta was going, with Vice, Teho, Breach, Yoru, and Astra. And G2's comp seemed to be the correct decision, with them immediately going up with a 6-2 lead, ending the half at 9-3 in their favor. And this was a dominant 9-3, with G2 owning Sentinels on a lot of these rounds. And that trophy would only inch closer for G2, with them opening the second half by taking the pistol and the eco, giving them an 11-3 lead, 2 rounds away from getting their first trophy since winning Ascension. But Sentinels built a comeback, 5 rounds in a row, and then a 1v2 from G2's IGL, putting them at 12-8.
South Level rolling, Thunder! Inside, through short, down to the 1v1. In control of once again another round, John QT. There's no tap, there's no hiding it. It's half earned, he wants to stick it! And Valin punishes!
And then 2 more rounds from Sentinels. This is when it started getting scary, with even the casters bringing up the G2 choker allegations.
When you hear the stage vibrating, the roar of the crowd over every single misstep and mistake that you make on the stage.
If G2 allow themselves to dwell on that, then the choking question will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If they do lose this with 4 tournament points, all of those same questions are going to come crashing down.
This insane play from Jogamo, the 1 trophy winner on this team, would push them over the line though.
Jogamo,
His teleport is in spawn.
King, they're going to push it back. The Hunter's Fury is delayed.
He's
it's
done
late.
it. Jogamo,
he's into back lines. Jogamo, he's tearing him a new one. Here's the retake coming through. The blinds are good, but the kills are going to be better. And G2 will not be denied. It's a death knell tolls. They've been tested, they've been pushed, but the util just makes it almost impossible. TP forwards, 11 HP to his name. Jubilation for G2. The victory that eluded them. A title gained and garnered. Finally, they get their win in our grand finals of America's Kickoff. And they are your America's Kickoff Champions.
3-2 for G2, an insane series and one much closer than anyone would have thought. G2 was challenged for the first time this season, and honestly, that might be the best thing we could have gotten going into Bangkok. So that's it for the finals weekend. Your 2 teams headed to Masters Bangkok from VCT Americas will be Sentinels and G2. And I'd just like to say, I called it from the beginning. I personally am so hyped for Masters Bangkok, and I'm already working on a video to get you up to date with every team heading into the first major of the year, so stay tuned in for that. If you want to see more of me, I've started streaming more, and we'll be watching the rest of the NA Challenger Swiss stage live on stream. I will also try to keep consistent shorts content heading into Masters Bangkok, talking about the teams or just some stream clips, so subscribe if you want to see that. Anyways, that's it from me.